Hey guys, Raychich is here, and it means we're so fucking back. And in this video I wanna talk about POE 2 announcement, early access and things that made me feel excited. So don't forget to like this video, don't upset me, and if you haven't subscribed yet, you should do so. In this video I will not be covering everything from the announcement as it lasted a full hour and a half and there is just too much to discuss. Instead I will talk about the things that impressed and delighted me the most. Let's start with something that immediately stands out, the visuals. I really like how POE 2 looks in the announcement, and in previous video trailers, the graphics seemed much more lackluster and unappealing, but now they look truly impressive and far better than, POE 1. The visual effects of abilities, jump animations, dodges and attacks all look great. As for the interface, in my personal opinion, the health bar, flask and skill UI in the first part looked better, but I think it will be easy to get used to the new design. Regarding the new campaign in POE 2, there will be 6 acts, 3 initial acts and 3 subsequent ones that mirror the first 3 in a cruel version. We have seen fragments of these acts and they look truly impressive. According to Mark Roberts, the first 3 acts take around 25 hours to complete for newcomers, while the subsequent 3 acts should be quicker as the character gains speed during progression. However, for experienced PoE players, it's evident this 25-30 hour campaign will eventually be like 5 to 8 hour leveling process later, but after completing all 6 acts and reaching roughly level 65, access to the endgame content becomes available. Remarkably, the endgame will already be substantial even in the early access phase, which is great news for us guys. So there is not much more to discuss about the campaign itself, as I've covered the most exciting parts. However, one mechanic is the new trials, which looks far more engaging than the labyrinth from the first game. Players will have a choice of several locations to complete trials. Completing these trials will grant points to select and enhance ascendancies for your character. So actually these trials is the same as labyrinth before, but looks much more engaging. Speaking of classes, POE 2 will feature 12 classes, each with 3 ascendancies, but during early access only 6 classes with 2 ascendancies each will be available. And now I want to talk with you because I have my brief rundown of each class and ascendancy without delving too deeply into their potential, so I hope you will appreciate it. The first class is Warrior, and Warbringer focuses on totems and Warcries, where totems deal most of the damage while you run around shouting. Titan is a slammer archetype delivering devastating damage through heavy strikes. Next class is Sorceress. Stormweaver ascendancy is about caster who deals elemental damage, and Chronomancer ascendancy is a unique mage controlling time, something like this, able to stop or manipulate time in various ways. I don't know how it will look like, but okay. Next class is Mercenary, a class specializing in firearms like crossbows and grenades, and Witch Hunter ascendancy lets you enhance mechanics tied to slaying monsters with your weapons. And the next one, Gemling Legionnaire, amplifies skill gems and buffs for your character, so not for your weapons and mechanics with weapons. The next class, Monk, is possibly one of the most exciting classes in PoE 2, in my opinion, with really smooth combat animations. The first one is an Invoker, specializes in elemental strikes and conversions, and the next one is Acolyte of Chiula, which focuses on chaos damage. Invoker looks much more fun. The next class is Ranger. It retains its core identity from PoE 1. We have Deadeye, excels in quickly eliminating monsters packs using a bow, and we have Pathfinder, a hybrid specializing in poisons, flasks and alternative playstyle. The last but not least is Witch, with 2 ascendancies, Infernalist and Blood Mage. The first one is a fire damage caster who can transform into a demon. While in demon form, both damage output and incoming damage are amplified, so okay. And the next one is Blood Mage, uses health to deal damage, so it's like a vampire or something. This ascendancy feels unusual, but its mechanics should become clearer with time. We don't know anything right now. I have highlighted all the classes and ascendancies available on December 6th, and let's move on to the endgame content. The Atlas map is now in 3D and looks fantastic. A new mapping mechanics introduces waystones as a form of currency. These have tiers and can be crafted. Essentially, mapping remains mostly unchanged aside from the visuals, at least at first glance. Instead of rolling maps themselves, players will roll these waystones and insert them into map slots to begin farming. This change means maps can no longer be traded between players, since the map selections occurs directly on the Atlas. So the Atlas will also feature boss locations. They're beautifully designed. It will be exciting to test whether these bosses are indeed tougher than those in PoE 1 or not. Developers have confirmed that early access will include 50 bosses and 400 monster types, which is already a solid start. Thank you, Grinding Gear Games. So we are done with Atlas map, but now let me talk about the new feature that excites me the most, the revamped Atlas tree. In PoE 2, we no longer need to select the mechanics we want to farm from one large tree. Instead, mechanics like Bridge, Delirium, Ritual, etc. are tied to specific maps on the Atlas, identifiable by their icons. On our Atlas tree, we can upgrade global Atlas bonuses, like pack size, rarity, etc. But additionally, completing specific mechanics will grant points for those same mechanics, which can then be spent on the Atlas tree to enhance them. I won't dive into each mechanic in detail to avoid repeating the announcement, but here is what's changed compared to the first game. So Bridge. Completing bridge encounters in maps rewards bridge tablets, which can be placed in a tower on the Atlas to increase the number of bridges in the area. This applies to all other mechanics. For example, if you want more bridges, use tablets with bridges and you will encounter them more frequently. The same with Ritual, Ultimatum, and etc. These tablets can also be crafted, with each having 2 mods that enhance all bridges in a specific fortress area. Catalysts now drop from these breaches. Additionally, rings that previously dropped from breaches are now uncorrupted, meaning they can be fully crafted. This is a huge improvement. Breach stones remains, featuring new bosses, so the breach mechanics seem well-rounded. And next one is Ritual. This mechanic remains largely the same as in PoE 1, with one notable change. Omens now function differently and can be used as meta crafting options, like add-only suffix mods, prefix, and pretty interesting. Delirium, the core mechanic hasn't changed much, but there is a new reward, Distilled Emotions, which can enchant Amulet with skill passives from your passive tree. So essentially, this replaces the annoyance from PoE 1, making Cassia unnecessary. Additionally, Distilled Emotions can serve as a replacement for Delirium Orbs, empowering Delirium mirrors in maps, increasing their difficulty and rewards as well. The next is Expedition. This seems largely unchanged, but we don't know yet, so okay. Another new but not entirely new mechanic is the Endgame Trials. Simply put, it's similar to the Forbidden Sanctum, but appears more challenging. You navigate through rooms, choosing which one to tackle next, while using relics for each new run. And you just buy new relics, you get new relics, your runs become even easier and faster. However, relics are now craftable, so we will need to test it. Running this new Sanctum is profitable or not, and I will make a video about it for sure. Yo! That covers the most exciting new features in PoE 2, my video. It's still unclear if the traditional bench crafting table will make a return, but we'll find out soon enough, because as I saw in this announcement, I don't know how it will work, or maybe bench crafting table was successfully removed from the game. I don't know. Tell me in comments if you know. I'll keep you updated with new videos and theories, potential builds, and much more. I hope this video wasn't too boring or complicated, because I spent really not a lot of time to make it, because I want to make it as soon as possible. Share your thoughts in the comments. All links to my Twitch and Discord are in the description. Don't forget to follow it. So thank you for watching, guys. It was Raychich as always. I love you all. Goodbye.